So far this year, we've covered a lot of Martin's new product releases, mostly focusing on the new Standard series. But today I got the first look at the DX2 Billy Strings, one of two Billy Strings signature models that have dropped this year. Let's take a look. How's it going, guys? This is Cooper Greenberg at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you have not already, subscribe to the chan, like the vid, comment in the section, and do your thing. We appreciate it. Let's dive right in. We got the Billy Strings X Series model. There are two Billy Strings models that dropped in NAMM this year. We got the Made Mexico version, X Series Affordable. Then we got the little bit fancier pants of the USA model. Both of them are very similar in terms of the defining features of this guitar that Billy Strings himself has sort of spec'd out for this. The USA version is a D28, all solid wood, made in the US. It's about $37.99, I believe. And this guitar is $8.99. So this comes in at one of Martin's more affordable price points. The X Series guitars and the Junior Series guitars are kind of their entry. And so X Series got a whole revamp last year, and this guitar showcases some of that stuff. X Series were always popular because it's an affordable way to get into the Martin line. They are made in North America, so Mexico, part of North America. And this one has a solid top, solid spruce top. The back and sides, as you have seen on many of the other X Series models, including the normal just DX2E. This is HPL, high pressure laminate, with the Brazilian pattern. So you can look through all the X Series guitars. The revamp brought through different wood patterns. So you got Brazilian, Zeracote, Cocobolo. I think that's it for the wood patterns. Maybe I could be missing something. There's also the black versions and, the simpler stuff. There's the ones and twos of the X Series guitars. The twos will have that solid top. In this case, it is spruce. This does have scalloped X bracing, spruce, and it is a Dreadnought. Now, if you're familiar with a typical DX2E or a D28 or any Martin Dreadnought, you will typically be looking at a 1 3/4 inch nut width and a 25.5 inch scale. And this guitar is sort of the Goldilocks, both in this and the US version. The big change here is going to be slightly shorter scale length from a Dreadnought, slightly narrower nut width. So this is 1 23/32. Now that, if you can remember fractions, which I don't, 11/16 would be 22/32. This is a 32nd of an inch wider. So this is 23/32, right in between 11/16 and 3/4. So if you think 11/16 is too narrow, if you think a 3/4 is too wide, I found your guitar. Also, scale lengthwise, so triple O scale with Martin would be 24.9 inches. Dreadnought or OM scale would be 25.5 inches. So this being 25 inches even, you kind of got a Goldilocks vibe there as well. It's right in between what you've come to expect from the kind of two popular Martin scale lengths. I think that this makes total sense for Billy Strings. He is, if you're not, familiar with his playing, I'm sure you've heard his name. I'm sure you've seen him around. He is a fantastic guitar player, flat picker, unlike many others. One of the best flat pickers alive. And so with this, you got a slightly shorter scale length, which will make those bends a little bit easier, make, just the strings tiny bit slinkier without being all the way to a triple O scale length. And with the nut width, you got a little bit, of that narrow, fast playing of maybe a 1/11/16, but not, it's a very, very subtle difference. I do think that the Goldilocks sort of thing is what I'm referring to it as. Not too cold, not too hot, right in the middle. Also, I've got golden locks. He's got golden locks. It works for everybody. So I think this is a really solid guitar. And the feature that it comes with, coupled with the lack of a ton of, aesthetic presence of it being a signature model, makes it really work for me. Satin, it's comfortable, satin neck, satin top. That HPL's kind of got the HPL finish, which if you played one of these, you know what I'm talking about. Only thing that's really going to shout Billy Strings to you is the label inside with a little house with an eyeball on it, which that's just cool. But also, if you look inside, this guitar is stage ready. It's got Martin E1 electronics with a built-in tuner right there. Now, I was asked yesterday how you control the tuner. If you were to look on the other side where the controls are, on the E1, you got volume and tone as your knobs, but you've also got buttons on there for each knob. So the volume button is a phase switch if you're experiencing phase issues, and the tone knob, which is going to be closest to the neck, you tap that. You got to tap that, and the tuner comes on. So all in all, at $899, this is an option of a body size that typically comes along with a certain scale length and nut width. And so you may find, if you like this kind of music, if you like flat picking, bluegrass, country, stuff that you're going to be playing a little bit faster, but also you're soloing, you're bending a bunch. I think the scale length and the nut width work towards that goal. I also think getting a Martin, $899, it comes with a gig bag and electronics, and it's a Billy Strings gig bag, kind of this tan looking thing. Looks pretty good. Open gear tuners. I think this guitar could appeal to a lot of people, and the popularity of the last year's refreshed X Series kind of shows a lot of people are looking for something in this price range, especially from Martin, and this gives you another option with with a different kind of feel that I think a lot of people would enjoy. And we talked to a ton of people about nut width and scale length, what's right for them. And so this kind of adds something right in the middle of two popular veins. And it sounds good. I'm going to play it for you, then I'll tell you my thoughts about the sound on the other side. So take a listen. There you have it. DX2 Billy Strings, DX2E, because it's got E in there. We recorded it with microphones, but you can plug this thing in on the stage. Now, as you can tell by the demo, I'm not Billy Strings. I tried to do somewhat of an impression, but it's also stuff that you've heard on other demos, so you know I'm not just mimicking the guy, all right? I think if you're playing that kind of music, this guitar works. I'm excited to see the US version because I think it'll take that playability that I really like on this guitar and add some more character to the sound. Now, there's something interesting about the X Series because It is HPL. It is a solid top, which we've always said should be definitely on your list of must-haves when you're looking at a guitar, especially something that's $899. It's not a cheap guitar, but it's really well made. Now, the sound of the X Series guitar, there's a certain inherent volume that I think comes from having back and sides like this. They are not solid wood, and so you can compare, you're looking at other dreadnoughts, say you're looking at a D18 and D28, inherently the sound is going to be different. Even though scale length, nut width, and top is going to be the same, the back and sides definitely EQ your sound a bit. With the X Series, there's a certain volume that you get out of it and a real sort of like full kind of just flat response that I don't think is a bad thing. I was playing on it before we started. Josh made the comment that even on the X Series, Martin does, you get a certain woody tone out of it. I was trying to do some of that single note stuff because although it's HPL, I can still hear some of that sort of inherent reverb and harmonic kind of response that, goes to show that yes, solid back and sides, they do contribute to your sound. It's a higher quality material, and I believe it's a higher quality sound. But Martin is constructing these very well to where you get a nice balanced sound out of it. I don't think it sounds off. I just think it may sound like it's lacking the EQ that you might expect from rosewood back and sides or maple back and sides, koa back and sides, mahogany back and sides. All those are going to color your sound in a certain way. This is just straight up, you're hearing spruce top and you're getting volume from a large body. And with that kind of music and with a guitar like this, you're probably taking this on the road, even though it's not a road series. You're probably taking this out because it's something that you can bang around and you don't have to worry too much about it, or you're learning guitar and you wanted a Martin, or you're bringing this to the campfire, or you're jamming with your buddies, or you're just playing at home. I don't think in any of those situations you're worried about, I got this and it's East Indian rosewood, but I really wanted Madagascar or Guatemalan or whatever. This is a guitar that is very easy to play. That's something that gives people an aversion to dreadnoughts a lot of the time because they think that they're larger, they're longer scale, they're not the easiest guitar to play. The changes that he's made with Martin on this guitar make it very easy to play. It's got a big sound coming out of it, and with that lead that he's playing, the construction works to get you the projection, get you to be able to cut through a bunch of other instruments. I think that this is a home run. I'm very excited to hopefully get the USA model in soon, do a comparison between the two, but also compare this to the other X Series Dreadnoughts because that scale length, it's going to change the playability. I think there's potential that it changes the sound because the longer the scale, more projection, tighter strings, but this is kind of right in the middle from what we have come to expect on both of those. I'm going, psh, psh. Both of these are a little bit different. So I think it's a very interesting guitar. I like that they didn't do anything crazy to the look or whatever. It's just a Martin Dreadnought, a couple changes, and I think it can welcome a lot of people into playing a Dreadnought, whether you get this one or the USA model. But they did a good job, and I like signature models for players that deserve them because they're insane guitar players. I think a lot of younger people are getting into his style of music because they see him playing it. He collaborates with a bunch of artists that I love, and I don't see anything wrong with Billy Strings, who has brought acoustic guitar playing kind of into the forefront of a lot of popular music, getting to show off what he can do with Martin. It's a match made in heaven. I dig it. So if you're interested, I don't know what the availability on these is going to be like. I know that they have been popular, and when I was looking at them earlier, martinguitar.com is sold out. They're going to be filtering in. We got a couple of these to start. The American versions are going to be even harder to get. So if you like it, give us a call. We've already gotten a lot of people calling us saying, when you get one in, let us know. So yes, you are on the list, but if you'd like to join that list, give us a call, text us, email us, come into the store, let us know what you want. And there's a lot of other great options in the X Series. If you want something that's not a Dreadnought, They got other body sizes, small to large, and they all have the kind of benefits that I think this one has. They're durable, but they have an inherently good sound quality because of what they're putting into this. Solid top, scallop bracing, and easy to play. I really like them, and I think in that sub $1,000 price range, you got to be looking at the X Series. There's less and less of those coming out from brands that you recognize. So take advantage while you can. If you like Billy Strings, come and get one. If you don't know who Billy Strings is, go listen to his music and be inspired and play some guitar. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.